Hey, before the episode gets started, I just wanted to hop in and say a few words. Pope Francis recently has died. By the time this recording has come out, it would be past Holy Monday. And everyone here at Spirit Stream Studios and at Catholic Notebook, we are all praying for Pope Francis. And, you know, in this episode itself, we even reference Pope Francis because we love him so much. Like just the pastoral nature that he had and the humanity that he brought. We just wanted to take a moment before anything else, before the jokes, before the laughs, before the segments, just to offer up a moment of silence. Thank you, Pope Francis, for everything you've done and the life you gave for the church you love so much. Now, on to the show.
Wagwan, me people, quick thing before we kick off. The views where you hear upon the Father to Father podcast, them strictly for why, the hosts, guests, and contributors. Them now represent Catholic Notebook, Spirit Stream Studios, the diocese, university, or any affiliated groups. You see me? And remember, this podcast is strictly for adult ears, so listen up with discretion.
Welcome to Father, where life and faith meet. A place for the soul, where wisdom speaks. Hope in the message, strength in the beat. Welcome to Father, where life and faith meet.
Welcome back to the Father podcast. I'm Dr. Giovanni, and with me is my right hand, my main man,
Father Greg Lambert.
Hey, what's good, man? You feeling good?
Absolutely.
You happy?
Yeah.
You know what? It's times like this that I'm just reminded.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what could I be? Could I be bishop? Could I be pope? Here's what she said to me.
No. Why? Can I ask why? Is that Papa Francisco saying no?
Yeah, it's Papa Francisco.
That sounded really familiar.
That's Papa Francisco. Papa Francisco is like, no. Hey, man, we gotta start this show off on something fun, right?
I guess that sounds like an angry letter at some point. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, it's all factual. Hey, it's all about facts on the show, right? Hey. So welcome to the show, everybody.
Yes, I am.
All right, great. Dear Father Greg and Dr. Gio, I'm not going to lie, I'm a kind of a mess right now. I really need some guidance. There's this guy, we really care a lot about each other. I mean, a lot. We've even said I loved you, and for a moment, I really thought I found my person. But the problem is, we're in two completely different vocational paths. For a long time, I thought I was content on my path. I was sure I was supposed to be here. But now, I don't know. I feel like I'm stuck in this emotional tug of war between what I thought and what I believe my heart is pulling me towards. I'm trying to figure it out, but I keep making a mess of things. And now I find myself backtracking, sending mixed signals, hesitating. One day I'm certain. The next day I'm terrified. One day I'll talk to him. The next day I'll ghost. I don't want to hurt him, but I also don't want to lie to myself about what I'm feeling. I just don't know how to navigate this without making it worse. So what do I do? How do I figure out if this moment is real or if this is something that has been manufactured through my decision making? How do I handle these emotions without wrecking everything? I've been listening every week, so I'll tune in to hear your response.
Wow.
Yeah. And this one, again, it's coming from it says a very confused sister. I'm not going to keep saying very confused sister. I'm just going to say sister. You know?
Yeah.
So sister in Christ. And plus, it doesn't tell us like what the two vocations are. So like, so there's some details in this that is somewhat missing. So I don't know who's in what vocational, and she's calling it paths. So it doesn't seem like it's been solidified in any way. But
Possibly.
that's the situation. So I'll give you, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, without insinuating that it's any particular path on each side, I want to say this is a very deep and complex situation. It's deep and complex because there is love involved. And when I say there's love involved, I mean at some point, the path that you were on, right, originally, you said, God, this is everything I've ever asked for and more than I deserve. And you said yes to that. Now, whether that is you decided to get married to an individual, or you decided to become a religious sister or enter the novitiate, or however it is you want to look at it, whether you're a consecrated single, I do not know. But you felt that love. But there was a point in your life when you had to feel it and then experience it. And then you made your decision. The hardest part about making that decision is that the feelings of love for the other side do not stop once you make your decision. It's difficult, even within seminary. I mean, I just graduated. I haven't been a priest very long.
Right.
But they told us multiple times, within your course of life as a priest, hopefully you get 50 years of service, you're going to fall in love at least 3 times. That's just because you are interacting with people. You're getting to know them on an intimate level. They're getting to know you on an intimate level. And you're setting these safeguards and make sure that you can have these appropriate boundaries so you can continue to go within their life and then go out of their life and be able to give Jesus to them. But for that same reason, they're going to get to know you and you're going to get to know them intimately. And human nature is going to be, again, this is not a weakness, but human nature is going to be that you're going to see them in a light that very many people probably don't get to see them as. And you're going to fall in love. And that is very difficult. And you're right. It's messy. All of this is messy. When you deal with love, it's going to be messy. But what helps clarify the situation, in my very humble opinion, is bringing it to the light. And when I say this, be very careful, because what starts with scandal is when we start hiding things and then people find out. Right? But sunlight is a natural disinfectant. It just is. It's one of the first things I said about COVID, actually. Like, yeah, like we want to go ahead and, you know what we suggest? Going outside for like 20 to 30 minutes.
Right.
Because sunlight is a natural disinfectant. So what you want to do is, like, when you're trying to figure out what's a false dollar or what's a real dollar, you hold that bad boy up to the light and you look for the insignia. You look for the fingertips of who exactly has made that dollar, that piece of money.
Because you can't fake that.
You can't fake that. It's the same thing with your relationship with whoever it is that you're speaking about, right?
Right.
You want to hold it up to the light. And God is the light, the truth, the way. He is all of it. Bring this to the Lord and say, where is it that you are speaking truth in my vocation and in my life? I truly, honestly, earnestly feel like I'm in the right place where I'm supposed to be. And do you really believe that we serve a God that would kind of dangle something in front of our noses, like a piece of meat, and say, now I'm going to tempt you? That's not what God does. But there is beauty everywhere. There is love and there is life everywhere. If we stay within our lines, if we keep our boundaries, and if we hold our feelings, our true feelings, up to the light, we will realize what is true and also what is not for us.
Right.
Acknowledge all of your feelings. Don't hide them. Don't stuff them down. Don't put them in a place in a lockbox and try and deal with it 30 years later. That's when the scandals happen.
Right.
What you want to do is acknowledge what you're feeling. Say, Lord, I love this man. Or I have a deep love for him, and he gets me in a way that no one ever has. And I don't think I've ever felt this before. And if I did feel it before, it's never been like this. And now I'm wondering, is this where I'm supposed to be? Because, man, I could sign up for this for the rest of my life. Acknowledge that. But also acknowledge exactly where you are right now. I made this decision. Why? Because, Lord, you pursued me and you loved me and you chased me and you told me that I can be yours. And I said, yes.
Right.
Acknowledge that as well. Those two things both can't be true at the same time. The light will disinfect one. And then go forward with that.
Yeah. Sis, I'm going to call you sis because, it's a lot easier that way. All right, sis, look. You love him. And if you love him, you got to start with making a decision. All love is going to cost you something. Okay? And it sucks. But if we're going to say that we're going to be Catholic, our life fundamentally is going to be different from everybody else's life. That means the choices we make are going to be different from the choices that everybody else makes. The reality is, love is messy. Just like Father Greg said, hey, it's going to be messy. Because when you're dealing with someone else, you're going to be dealing with responding to the emotions, responding to different situations, responding to behaviors, everything like that. And no matter how much we try to prepare for what we think might happen, that person is still in charge of themselves. They might respond in a way we were not prepared for. And then what? We're left with dealing with that. And sometimes it's really great and we're happy. But sometimes we don't know what to do. And then we find ourselves backtracking. And you're in that moment right now. And if I could say anything to you, I want to stop you before you go off that cliff. Hit the brake, stop the car, take the keys out, breathe. Just breathe. You don't have to be perfect in this moment. Right now, the only thing that's being demanded of you is for you to be faithful to what you have been taught. Fundamentally, God loves you. Second, the church won't abandon you. Third, as you make your decisions, understand that you are still in charge of the way you think, the way you act, and how you respond to different situations.
Yes.
And we'll leave it at that. All right.
We love you.
Yeah.
Fatherly advice, da-da-da. Fatherly advice, da-da-da. When life feels tough and you're thinking twice, it's time for some fatherly advice. Hey, tell me, baby, what's the word on the street?
All right, it's word on the street. So the Catholic Nobel Research Team goes into Catholic communities, except this time, rather than asking just people that are Catholic, they went ahead and asked Catholic priests questions.
Really?
Yeah. The question that they asked them was, what was the most unexpected question you were asked? So they just asked Catholic priests, what's the most unexpected question you were asked?
Oh, shoot.
Okay. One Sunday after Mass, this woman cornered me, looking dead serious. Excuse me. One Sunday after Mass, this woman cornered me, looking dead serious. She'd just gone through a brutal breakup, and without missing a beat, she asked, "Father, is there a way to get my ex, excommunicated, like officially?" She went about how he ghosted her and borrowed her car without asking, and still had the nerve to show up at her gym. I had to break it to her that excommunication wasn't exactly a church-approved relationship strategy, but she wasn't done. She asked if there was any church rules that might force him out of her life. I suggested going to a new gym and getting a new membership.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Has that ever happened to you? Or
That has never happened to me before, but I guarantee you, it probably hasn't happened to Pope Francis either. He's not like on his desk talking about like, yeah, John can't go to Planet Fitness anymore. Like, what?
No. Like, just like, yo, can you imagine being Pope Francis? Like, we'll role play this real quick, right?
Papa Francisco, Father Francisco. Hello, my son. Here's the list of communicators. This is the excommunication list. I'll tell you what their sins are, and you have to get the final approval. Okay? Okay. John Smith, money laundering of $500 billion. Oh yes, excommunicator. Hey, the Reverend Lawrence C. Smith, impersonating a priest. Excommunicator. Okay, good. Sam Broadwaters, ghosting a girl, borrowing her car without permission, and having the nerve to show up at her gym.
Maximum excommunicator.
I was like, yo. I was like, is that what people think of this? No, dude, I'm going to put the music in the background. You'll be like, oh.
Oh my gosh, all our Italians are going to be like, he's butchering our language.
Hey, I am Sicilian by blood, so you know what? Fight me.
I am not. I was making all that up. I have no idea.
All right, here's another one. One time, and again, this is question the most unexpected question you were asked as a priest.
Okay.
One time, a guy comes in all sheepish, holding in a gift bag and muttering something like, "Can you give us a blessing?" I thought,
speak up.
I thought he was talking about a medal or something, like a family heirloom, and I said, "Sure, bring it out." And to my surprise, he brings out this lacy piece of lingerie, bright red with tags on it, and he said it's a gift for my wife, and asked if I could bless it for good intentions.
That is.
I had to explain
Wow.
that the church really isn't in the business of blessing that. He looked genuinely disappointed and mumbled something about taking care of it himself.
How, sir? And show your work.
And left it in the bag. He probably went into like the holy water font and like dunk and then like put it in the bag and just called it a day. Because that sounds like something someone would do.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that because think about it from my perspective. You say it's your wife. What if it's not?
I don't know if you're your wife.
Exactly. I'm
Bring
your wife.
Bring your wife.
Exactly.
Bring your wife.
Do you approve of this? Is this what we're doing?
And even then, I don't know. Bring the certificate. Let me see.
Wow.
Let me see.
I want to see the receipts.
I don't trust people. Come on. Oh yeah, she's my wife. Really? What's her name?
Tabitha. What are you thinking about?
Oh goodness. Here's another one. A regular parishioner came one morning, looking a little worse for wear, and asked, "Father, I wanted to cover, let's say, an entire weekend in Vegas. How many Hail Marys would it take? Or do you have like a bulk forgiveness policy?" He avoided eye contact the whole time, clearly hoping I wouldn't ask details. When I suggested maybe coming to an actual confession, he shook his head and said, "No thanks. Let's leave some things in Vegas," and slip a 50 in the collection box, and then put $20 in my pocket.
Oh dear.
I would love to say that was like a one-off thing of like, I've never seen that before, but I've actually seen that before where like some people would come in and ask Father like, "Hey, this is a story time for like when I was a kid." Cause like when I was like 10, I was like head altar server, and there was a guy visiting from New York who came in, and he was just like this big shot kind of dude. He always had like this big wad of like hundreds or whatever, like with a rubber band. And he occasionally would come to confessions on Thursdays, and and he would stop, and he would be speaking Italian sometimes, and he'd be like, ah, da, 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 da. Like sometimes I understood, sometimes I didn't, and he would always give me $100, no matter what. He'd give me $100, and he'd be like, hey kid, here's $100, and then whatever. And then one day we had a different priest rather than it being Monsignor.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
There was a different priest doing confessions rather than Monsignor. And he walked in, and then he was just like, something, commotion. And then all I hear is, well, then how much is it going to cost me then? 15? 20? 2,000? How much? Just tell me. And then he leaves, and he's storming off, and I was like, "Hey, like, are you okay?" Like, because I didn't know his name. I just called him Mr. New York, and so legit, every time he showed up, I just called him Mr. New York, and I didn't know his name, and he kind of liked that. He's like, "That's good on you, kid," and I'm like, "Whatever." And I was like, "Hey, Mr. New York, like, what's like? Are you okay?" He's like, "Father's being weird. He's not taking $800 for the confession." He's not taking $800 for the confession. And I'm like, why? And he's like, kid, when you get older, there's some things you do. Sometimes it takes a little bit more than just being sorry. And then he gave me $100, and he's like, all right, have a good day. He just tips. I'm like, yo.
Goodness.
So I don't know what he, like, full disclosure, don't know what he was talking about. Don't know what he did. But, like, it was just one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, I've seen that before. This is wild. All right, one more. A young man came up to me after Mass, trying to act casually, but clearly bursting with a question. He says, so, Father, is it, wrong to show off a little at the gym if it gets me more followers? I raised my eyebrows and explained, technically, he's just spreading motivation, but he was worried it might be leading people astray. I advised him to consider why he was really flexing so hard. Then he just grinned and said, well, it's kind of working, so maybe God's okay with it. I think he missed the point.
Yeah, he definitely missed the point.
Yeah, he's just like, I have muscles, and I'm just showing it to people. Is that okay?
I mean, if you're trying to inspire people, there's something there, but also not every single person who has a fitness Instagram is trying to inspire people.
Hey, they're trying to inspire people, but it is not
to charge
always.
The card.
It's not always
not
for
good.
the Lord.
It's not always for the Lord. For monetary use, it's not good.
I'm trying to inspire you to get points back or cash back, depending on what your card does. And that was word on the street.
Every word's a fire, lighting the night. Every beat's a heartbeat, shining so bright. Truth and mercy, woven so tight.
You know how the Bible's wild, and there's all these fun stories. So King David is a man after God's own heart, and is a guy that I try to embody every once in a while. Like, it's a charism.
Really?
Yeah, no. I want to be like David. Like, he's a cool guy. Like, because no matter what he did, because he sinned quite a bit, and no matter what he did, and let's be fair, he was a little bit of he had a pass. And no matter what he did, at the end of the day, he always recognized his sin and then went back to God and said, like, yo, my bad, Jesus, I got it. But there's one story in particular that always stands out to me with King David, besides Bathsheba. Because you still got to explain to me what you were doing upside on the roof and just being like, she's showering. What is she doing bathing like that? I'm like, dog, you on the roof? Like, what is going on?
Thirsty. Parched, my guy.
He's like, what's her name? His attendant was like, yo, my king, no. Uriah, your strongest guy. That's his wife. That's another story for another time. This story goes back to when David wasn't king yet. So at the time it was King Saul. King Saul had two daughters, Merab and Michal. So Merab and Michal, right? Merab, beautiful. She was a dime piece. She was like, that's it. No, like, that's how they described her. He's like, yo, Merab, dime piece. And I was like, hey, yeah, and then Mikhail was there too. I was like, oh, no. Like, they wanted to, like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the scripture writers got petty at times because they will give you such a beautiful description and then be like, yeah, and this person was there. And you're like, you can't do that.
Because
Like,
they can't say she looked like a foot. Like, you can't say that. You can't say that. That's not okay.
that's not okay. So, okay. So you have Merab and then you have Mikhail. And so David was like, hey, yo, King Saul, I'm in your court.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing you these harps. I'm helping you sleep at night. Listen, I love you, but I also love your daughter. I want to propose to your daughter. And King Saul leaned back, already getting, at this point, you guys also keep in mind, King Saul was already told, David's going to take your kingdom away from you. Just keep that in mind. Like, it's only a matter of time because you keep messing up and you keep not listening to God. God gives you clear instructions. He didn't tell you look left and right. He just said 1 + 1 = 2, and you can't even do that. So your kingdom, gone. But he likes your girl, so one of them is going to live.
Yo.
If not both, maybe. We don't know. So David goes up to him and he's like, hey, yo, I like your girl. Like, I like your daughter. Can she be my girl? And he goes, which one? And he's like, is that a question? I was like, yo. And he's like, okay, fine. You want Merab? You can have Merab. However, you got to do me something. And he's like, say less. And then David proceeds to say, whatever you ask of me, I will do serendipitously. I will do no matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. What do you want?
Oh, my goodness.
He says, listen, what I need from you is to circumcise.
As soon as he started with that, everything got quiet. He's like, David didn't hear anything after that. He's like, circumcision.
He said, the price of your marriage is to bring me the foreskin of 200 Philistine men.
200 Philistines.
Yes, 200 Philistines. 200 Philistine men. To bring me the foreskin of 200 Philistine men. Now, mind you, so you have to go in and circumcise these men. But these men don't believe in God. So they're not... So you make that make sense for yourself? Effectively, he was telling him, listen, go die. Because you're going to have to go fight these men by yourself. And he's like, oh, by the way, you got to go by yourself. I ain't sent no army with you.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, no armor. My guy. Just you and your sword. Mr. Like, I killed a lion by himself. That's fine. You killed a bear by yourself too, right? That's fine. Oh, you killed. Oh, ain't that right? My armor was not good enough for you. When you killed Goliath, it was just a rock that killed him, right? So you got 200 Philistines, and I give you my word, Merab is yours. That's all David needed to hear. He's like, say less.
I know this didn't happen, but all I can see is David with a sling swinging over his head, talking about, do you know how bad she is? And then just going after 200 people. Like,
like, dog, she had, you need to understand how bad she is. Like, in David's mind, she's like, she is the pinnacle. And David's like, 200? Ain't nothing but a chicken wing. So he goes out. And that night he kills 200 Philistines and then comes back with a sack and throws it at the feet of Saul and goes, there's your 200. And Saul's just like, what? He's like, you wanted 200? I gave you your 200. He's like, ain't no way. He opened it up. The attendant's like, oh, it's 200. Count it.
that was a bad day for that attendant, dog. That's a rough day.
They counted all of them. Got all 200. He's like, yeah, it's 200. He's like, damn. Well, David, listen. You did it. You got the 200. You get to marry Merab. He goes, awesome. Where is she? He's like, you can find her. You can marry her. And he goes, what? He's like, yeah, I forgot to tell you. There's also a guy who came that she's going to get married to. if you got here sooner, you probably could have married her.
Bruh.
I'm going to, and he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, technically, I already gave her to Adriel. And so this dude went out and got 200, threw it at her feet, and then he counted it, went through all this rigmarole, and while he's going through all this rigmarole, she's getting married. He didn't know. She's getting married. He gets married, and he gets married to Adriel, the Melanites. It was another tribe, effectively. He gets married, and he's just like, dang. And he's like, so you're going to go back and work? He's like, no. I said if you were to give me the 200, you would be able to marry her. You threw it at my feet. But you can surely marry my second daughter if you want. That's fine. And then it's like, okay. So then he marries. So here's the thing. He ends up marrying Mikhail, and Mikhail becomes a dedicated woman to him. Dedicated, like she becomes his ride or die, like ride or die. And that's when Saul realized that Mikhail like really loves David, like has a poster of him in her bedroom. Like he didn't recognize how much she loved David. Because it's like, yo, they got married, and it said her appearance changed to be a beautiful consort. Ooh. And he's like, nah, forget this. You're not married to him anymore. I'm sending you away. And he took her away from him and sent him.
She got the DLC as soon as she got married.
Yeah. It was like, so she left. So he sent him to someone else, Pilati. He sent him off, and he got married to Pilati. So, yeah. So that's the story of David, man.
Can you imagine? It's funny, whenever he gets mad at his wife, he's just sitting out there on the porch. He's like, 200 foreskins. 200 foreskins.
I did it for you. And I said, so like, yeah, man. And you know, the thing is, after Saul died, he's just like, I'm going to take both of them. It doesn't So it's just like, yo, it didn't matter anyway. Like, but that's the thing. The question has always been like, when people ask you, like, what is he willing to do for your love? David gave 200. He said, that's what I'm saying. He went out and he fought 200 men to the death. Because you best believe someone comes in and is like, yo, I need your foreskin. He's like, yo, you don't have to kill me.
Yeah, legit.
You don't have to kill me. And David did. The woman he loved. And then he didn't get her. And the one that they were like, yeah, she was there too, transformed into the beautiful woman once they got married. Mm-hmm. And he said, bet. And Dad's like, nah, run me her back. And that's King David.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was 10 minutes ago. It's your turn. For Today I Messed Up? Yeah. All right, let's do this. Today I messed up by writing Hot Priest AU fanfic and forgetting to log out of the parish laptop.
Oh! Why on the parish laptop or what?
I ran church social media. I also write spicy fanfic. I guess
That's a combination, madam.
it happens to more people than you think, dog.
I bet.
Guess what? Guess what opened when Father Leon clicked the browser at the finance meeting?
Oh, no.
Let's just say someone read his cassock slipped off his shoulders like temptation itself out loud.
Oh my gosh.
I'm banned from Canvas. Canva. I'm banned from Canva.
There's an old lady in that room that's like, oh my.
She's like, oh dear heavens. Like, what? What? All right, next one. Today I messed up by asking my ex to be my confession sponsor.
To be your what? Repeat
Oh,
that?
sorry. Today I messed up by asking my ex to be my confirmation sponsor.
Okay, there we go. I was like, yo, if you want a date, just call it a date.
Yes. Just be my confession sponsor. What? These are my confessions.
Can we even play that?
Yeah, no, we can.
Okay,
We can.
good.
And he's not going to sue us.
Oh, that's good.
It's not Drake. Drake would sue us. We weren't talking. I thought this would be a healing gesture. Instead, he took the mic during the sponsor introduction and said, I'm here because she finally wanted to commit to something. Ooh. Father Leon coughed so hard he had to sit down.
Oh, no.
Today I messed up by kissing my best friend in the cry room. Oh, by the way, we didn't even say the messed up. The girl with the fanfic, did she mess up? I feel like she messed up.
Yeah, she definitely messed up. Don't do that on the church laptop. Oh, what? Come on, man.
Like, my thing is, like, you forget when you get a laptop from work, you forget after a while that this is a work laptop or this is a church laptop. Like, you forget.
I don't.
You forget. I don't. But, like, some people do.
That's wild.
So, like, you forget. The other thing is, with the sponsoration conference, did she mess up by asking her ex to be her confirmation sponsor?
I mean, technically, no. He can still be your confirmation sponsor. It doesn't matter that it's an ex.
No, I think the fact that he got on the mic and said, I'm here because she finally wanted to commit to something like that.
Yeah, that's way too much. That's way too much.
It makes me wonder how that ended. All right. Today I messed up by kissing my best friend in the cry room. We were just talking after mass. One thing led to another. We didn't know the choir director was napping in the back pew. She said she saw everything and said, that's not the kind of crying this room is made for.
What? Why'd she watch it anyway?
Why did she say anything?
Exactly.
First of all, the choir. First of all, the choir director messed up. I'm going to say that for free. Those two also messed up. Like, why?
Yes. Why? Go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's weird.
Also, the choir director just had to walk by the door and just go, like, just knock on the door and just leave.
Yeah,
because that's going to spook them enough to be like, we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, or just jiggle the door.
Yeah,
I've done that before. Because when I was a youth director, because sometimes the kids would because their hormones are weird.
Yeah,
and they'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna sneak off," and I'm like, now I gotta go after these kids, and I know exactly what they're trying to do. They're just trying to make out or whatever, and I'm just like, you shouldn't be doing that at church anyways. And I was
this magic moment,
dog. The amount of times that I would walk by and just jingle it like it was a spirit,
like FBI, dog.
like a spirit was shaking the door, and then they would open it and there's just a crucifix on the floor, and it'd be like. Sometimes it would be a crucifix, sometimes it would be holy water, sometimes it would be oil. Then you'd be like, they would come back. They never did it again. They never did it again.
Father Leon, I have sinned.
Yo.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez. All right. Today I messed up by bringing my stinking thing to midnight mass. We thought it would be cute, romantic even. The incense, the candles, the silent night vibes. We snuck in before the Gloria and sat in the back acting normal. We did not look normal. We had just finished studying in the car.
Oh.
And Monsignor Charles spotted us. He squinted, tilted his head, and walked over after Mass. Jason, he said slowly, you told your dad you're going to be with your brother tonight. Then he looked at me, and then looked at Jason's shirt, then Jason's face. So much studying, your shirt's on backwards. You're staying here tonight. I'm calling your father to come get you. Ooh. Jason just nodded. I went to my car and waited like I was 7 years old again. We haven't spoken since. I think I need a new parish. Did they mess up? I mean,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, no,
Absolutely.
You tried to baptize everything in the Holy Spirit water. That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
We're not Protestant, although we love our Protestant brothers. But that is today I messed up. That's it. That's it.
Every word's a fire, lighting the night. Every beat's a heartbeat, shining so bright. Truth and mercy, woven so tight. The story lives on in rhythm and love.
So, the story of Joseph getting his dream from the angel that he should accept Mary,
Yeah.
right? So this story comes at the heel of Mary having the Annunciation.
Oh,
An angel coming to Mary and saying, you're going to bear a child. And all of creation is waiting to exhale on her answer. She gives her fiat. Her fiat is based in an audible answer. Now, when Joseph goes to sleep, because he says that Joseph was known to be a righteous man, and he didn't want to embarrass her. He didn't want to put her to shame.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's like one of my favorite lines of the Bible. Is like, and Joseph, he was a righteous man. He didn't want to put her to shame. He was going to divorce her quietly. And they're like,
The fact that it says he's a righteous man, it is said in scripture and remembered for all time.
Yeah.
Like Joseph didn't want the smoke. He didn't want a problem. He just wanted a wife.
yeah.
But he chose Mary.
Yeah.
This other thing kind of got handed to him. Yeah. And so other people in the village are talking. He's feeling a certain type of way. He's conflicted. He's like, yo, she's a young girl. I didn't think she was like this. Maybe, I'm just gonna.
Can you imagine though?
Yes.
Can you imagine? Because Joseph, like, he was in his 50s, and he's old, and he's like, "Listen, my back don't work that way. So if you're cool about like living your prayer life, I'm cool about living my prayer life. I will give you protection." And she's like, "All right, say less." And then she gets pregnant. Oh, and she tells you it's God's baby.
Which goes to show you that a lot of things could be solved if you just take a nap beforehand. You know, like, just give yourself some time to like step away from the situation. Take a nap. Anyway,
That's good.
So he goes down, he lays down for a nap, and he has a dream from the angel. And the angel says almost verbatim the same thing that he said to Mary. And he says, "Do not be afraid," right? But the whole line is, "Do not be afraid to take Mary, your wife, into your home." That's the line.
Yeah.
Do not be afraid to take Mary, your wife, into your home. And it's a very gentle way of speaking to him.
Yeah.
Because most of the times when angels, like, they appear to say, "Do not be afraid," and people are like, "Ah!" because they're saying like into eternity.
Dog, we've talked about this. It's like, yo, you got two types of angels.
Yep.
The human form angel, where he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Or like, 6 wings, eyes everywhere. Do not be afraid.
You'll pass out from fright. You'll die of shock.
It's like, don't be afraid. How, Sway?
If you didn't want me to be afraid, then come back as like a baby with wings, like those Michelangelo paintings. Why'd you come back as the mutant starfish?
Nah, you got.
Like, what are we doing?
No, because you got to know what's up. You got. I'm hella convinced that the only reason why like they stopped coming to people was because the line "Do not be afraid" isn't gonna cut it anymore.
It never was. It never was. So Joseph is in his dream, and the angel says this to him, and he decides, you know, I'm going to do it. Like Joseph, in his good, obedient fashion, the individual that he was, takes Mary into his home. But that's the best part about it. It doesn't say, the angel never said to Joseph, you know, "Hey, I want you to take ownership of this female and take ownership of the baby.
Right.
It's God's baby.
Right.
It's your responsibility. It's your duty. So just do it." He didn't say that. And the angel also never went to Joseph and said, "All right, cool. Here is your severance package if you so choose to take it. And you don't really got to worry about the kid. If you do take the girl, you got to take the kid and at least give him like 3 meals a day." He doesn't tell him that either. Like he was very, if you go back and you read the story, he's very gentle in the way he's saying it. Don't be afraid to take Mary, your wife. This is the person who you wedded to, into your home, not your house, not your dwelling place, not your estate, your home. That's the question. When does a house become a home?
When she's in my bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the love is cultivated in the home.
Yeah.
You don't have a home when you buy it. You have a house.
Yeah.
When someone is dwelling within your house and then becomes a home, then it becomes a home. The angel himself told Joseph to take Mary and that baby into his home. That's the most gentle way you will hear an angel speak to anybody.
Yeah.
Which lets me know Joseph must have been an amazing human being. We know that he wasn't sinless like Mary and Joseph. I mean, like at that point, talk about not having an ego. You can't have an ego in that household.
Dog.
I'm sorry. You can't be bragging on anybody.
Yeah, like Joseph's like, hey, like, look at my like, I did really good. And then Jesus looked at you like, oh. He's like, oh yeah, that's like when I did the trees.
Have I ever showed you the trick about the she bear? She bear? Ever showed you the she bear trick?
No, I think you just got Mary sitting there just like, Joseph, do you believe that was your best work?
Oh. I couldn't. I couldn't.
Did you give your all to God?
And he just goes, oh. and, like crushes it and just restarts because she's worth it. She's worth it. Oh my chest. And that's the story. I love that story, and it seems like it gets it. I love the story because I feel like it gets passed over a lot. But there's something so beautiful and intricate about the type of man that Joseph was. We don't know a whole lot about him, but I think we can get a good gauge about who he was from this particular story. Honest, humble, a good, solid man.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's a lot of like church oral traditions that talk about like, Joseph had to die early because if he was alive, then Jesus' crucifixion would have never happened. Like there's just a lot of those like oral traditions that come out because it's like the mythos around Joseph is so interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how do you live with two beings that are, one is God and the other is sinless, and you yourself
Are dwelling in that home.
but you are a holy man.
They call him Saint Joseph, the terror of demons.
Dog.
That's a righteous man. That's a man who's not afraid to slay evil.
Dog. Like, how you get that? How you get that tagline? How you get that tagline?
Not by accident.
And you're a carpenter? Mm-hmm. Come on.
You know he's strong.
That's and that would make sense where like he is mercifully allowed to come into heaven early just so Jesus can complete his mission. Because I can't imagine being a father watching injustice happen to my son and then standing there and being like, it's all for the greater good. That could never run. That can never run.
Every man understands that, priest or not, father and priest.
Oh yeah.
And they dream about dying in glory in that way.
Yeah.
About defending their family.
Yeah. Women don't.
They don't.
They're not like, oh no.
They don't have to.
Right. And that's the beauty of like the complementary nature of men and women.
Absolutely.
And so it's just like, and so I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, good story, man. Good story.
In every heart, in every land, the greatest story still stands. Oh, whoa.
Man, that was a good show, man. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we have good shows, and other times I feel like we had a good show. Like this was a good show.
No, for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, for all of us at Spirit Stream Studios, thank you so much for supporting us and letting Spirit Stream Studios know that you love us and you love everything that we do. We love you. You're very special.
Go forth and bear good fruit.
See you next time.
Two fathers, two paths, one shape. Oh, father to father, where life and faith meet.
Father to Father is a production of Spirit Stream Studios. All rights reserved.